it's an outgoing one. It's bubbly as we see, brings a lot of energy. The cool thing is that it's every day. It's not fake. It's who he is, and it's contagious and it's fun to be around.
Will Graves.
Hey, Ben. Typically for you guys, it's a slowish start in September, and then you kind of get rolling into October and November. What has allowed you guys to kind of hit the ground running? And was it just simply the continuity that you had and the fact that maybe that put you ahead of some teams that had to do some reshuffling?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, knowing that we kind of are a veteran team, guys have been together for a long time. Systems haven't changed in terms of offense and defense. Coaches are the same. So I think that definitely helps and has contributed to kind of the early season success.
Mark Caboli.
Hey, Ben, you've been around long enough that you were with the organization when they barely signed free agents, let alone trade for people. That's changed recently. Is that a big deal inside the locker room, and what does that say when the front office helps you guys out with some trades and some stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's we'll see. I mean, obviously he's not here yet, and things have kind of been new in terms of it just happened over the weekend and all the things that have been going on. So, anybody that can come help his team win, we're all for it. I don't think it's one of those things where, okay, we absolutely need a linebacker because, I mean, Spillane's been playing really well. But if we can add some depth, and obviously it's a defensive side of the ball, so they can answer that question better. But, anybody that wants to come in here, and, I know you can use any Tomlinism you want, put your hand in the pile or whatever you want to say. But truly anyone that wants to come in to help us win and can help us win, then we're all for it.
Dale Lawley.
Ben, you've been around the game a long time, obviously. What is it about playing 3 consecutive road games? You've done this before that makes this so difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to start every question with Ben. You've been around for a long time. If you guys can avoid that. No, it's but that kind of answers the question too. You're being around as long as I have. You get these situations, and it's been such an unprecedented year, right? We had all those home games in a row, which you don't have, and now to go on the road, it's just the way that this season and this year has kind of been for everybody. My college coach used to always say, have a plan, work the plan, and plan for the unexpected. And that's kind of just what we've been doing. We just kind of take whatever's thrown at us. Today, everything getting pushed back an hour today. I mean, everyone has to do it. We can't sit there and say, oh, woe is us, because people in real life are dealing with changing things too. So we just got to keep rolling with it and understanding that when we get on the field on Sunday, it doesn't matter where we are. We need to play our best.
Jeff Hathorn.
Morning, Ben.
Morning.
Mike Tomlin compared Dallas's D, at least in the Philly game, to your defense last year as far as ball hawking. Just wondering, in the tape you've seen so far, what you've seen.
Absolutely. We just got done watching some stuff, Coach breaking it down for us, and obviously they're not like last week where Baltimore shows all kinds of different blitzes and looks and things like that. They have 4 guys with their hand in the dirt that are getting after the quarterback, after the ball, wherever it is. They might add a linebacker here and there, but really they count their front 4 to get after the quarterback, especially in the pass game. And it's not just getting a sack. I think that's good for them, but they're going for the ball. They're going for a strip sack. And so just trying to be aware of that, and me trying to keep 2 hands on the ball, not giving it away will be important. And then the secondary. I mean, you watch Diggs get his first 2 interceptions last week. I mean, looking like a wide receiver making those plays. So they're a team that definitely is aware of the ball and try to make that play, the good play, even better by turning it over.
Jim Wexell.
Ben, after that game Sunday, you looked about as drained as I've ever seen you look after a game. Considering this is a big, obvious trap game coming up, can you get it back? Can you lead the team with enthusiasm?
Yeah, for sure. I've done this a long time, remember? The last 2 weeks have been just, draining games. Obviously, the Tennessee game, because it felt like we were on the field for 100-plus plays, and then last week, just because it's Baltimore. And so Coach is doing some things this week, especially today, to kind of get guys back, in terms of the way practice is going to be scheduled and things like that. So, it's one of those things that we joke that football is work during the week, but when Sunday comes, it's just we're playing ball. And so we might be drained during the week and whatnot. So this is kind of one of those weeks where you have to really mentally focus in and the preparation in terms of meeting time and things like that. Because when Sunday comes, you can be as tired as you want during the week. You got to dial it in and be ready to go.
Joe Rudder.
Yeah, Ben, the intensive COVID protocols this week, has there been anything different, more virtual stuff? And do you expect the practice routine to change at all?
Yeah, I mean, things got pushed back an hour today. We met in the indoor facility, so everything was really spread out, and that's where some of the meetings are going to have to be. We were told that we can't do individual meetings in person, so those will be virtual. So there'll be some virtual stuff this week. In terms of practice, I know today's going to be a little different just to get guys' bodies back. But it's going to be one of those weeks, like I said, that mentally we need to be sharp so that Sunday we can be physically ready.
Mike Pursuta.
Ben, after the game, you talked about backyard football. Can you expand on that a little bit? How much was varying from the script? How much was make it up as you go along?
The second half probably, 90% was make it up as we went. Truthfully, it was, okay, line here. I know I kind of talked about it after the game, but line, here's the protection. Receiver, you go over here this time. You go over here. Just telling guys literally, looking back at the film, you can't even call the formations because we were moving guys at different spots, stacking guys up, bunching things. And to me, I think it really comes back to those guys making plays, not physically, but mentally. To line guys up and not really have many questions. It goes back to the offseason work we did at Robert Morris, the offseason work when we got together and have done this stuff and drilled this stuff. And I send the guys pictures at nights on the iPad. It just shows that it's sinking in and they get it because I can tell them to do something. I'm basically just trying to direct guys, right? They're doing the play, they're doing the movie, and I'm just telling them what to do, and they do it to perfection. And so it's not about me and what I just have to tell them what to do. They have to physically do it and mentally know what to do. And so they did it so well last week. I couldn't be more proud of the guys for that, all of them.
Jerry Dulac.
Hey, Ben, in that regard, I know you change a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage. I don't recall you so many times going up to the guys and kind of like physically with or at least with motioning to change the play. Was it something just specific to this game? Was it something you saw with them that caused you to do that?
Yeah, it wasn't like we were changing plays. We were making up plays. It's the old, hey, go down to the tire, make the out, cut, go around the tree. It was true playground style football. And that's why I say I'm so proud of the guys because we literally were just making things up as we went in terms of individual routes. There were no full play concepts. It was individual routes. And it mostly was because we were in a formation and a grouping that dictated predicted them to be in very simple pass rushes, if you will, not bringing a lot of heat. They had to man up and do some things. And, we just created some matchup opportunities for ourselves in that second half.
Time for two more. Ed Werder.
Ben, you've been doing this for a long time. I think a few guys have said. I just want to know, when you have a defense that you take to the stadium every Sunday that's doing what yours is in terms of attacking quarterbacks and creating havoc and turnovers and short fields for you guys, what's your mindset as a quarterback going into the game as far as how you want to execute and what your priorities are given your defense is going to hold down the other side? Yeah,
it gives you a lot of freedom. You know that your mistakes aren't going to be as magnified because they're most likely going to stop them or get the ball back. It's a lot like how when I first came in the league, you could just play more free because you know what your defense is going to give you. We turned the ball over early in that game, and we weren't doing anything in the first half offensively, and yet our defense was able to hold a really good offense, keep the game close, and then they created turnovers for us. And when we got that turnover in the second half, the interception, we knew at that moment like that we need to do something offensively. Like we have to kind of turn this thing around because they carried us to that point. But that's what makes teams special is that we were able in the second half to turn it on offensively. We carry each other, special teams as well. So that's what makes teams special is when you can count on each other through the good and the bad and just rely and trust on each other because it's not always going to be perfect both sides of the ball. But going into every week, we as an offense, I know as a quarterback, we enjoy knowing what we have over there.
Final one, Jenna Harner. Go ahead.
Ben, after this kind of gauntlet of games that you guys have gone through here, where you're playing 3 teams in a row with only 1 loss, what do you learn about your offense? What are some of the takeaways here as, we're almost at that halfway mark in the season?
Well, I think offensively, I don't think we're playing as well as the potential and that we could be. And I think that's encouraging that we can, rely on our defense and we can still win football games not playing at our best. If we were playing our best football right now, then I'd be a little bit more concerned. But I feel, and I think a lot of guys offensively feel that we still can keep getting better, and every week we want to get better. It starts with me. I need to play better football, and so we'll just keep trying to do that. We're playing some really good teams. Obviously, 2 really good defenses the last 2 weeks, and a team this week that is opportunistic and turning the ball over. I know their record overall may not speak for that, but if you look at the film and look what they've done the last few weeks, they're playing good football. So offensively, we need to get it going and get on track and really do more to carry this team if we can.
All right. Thanks, Ben.